upbeat, playful music starts. Narrator: it's 3 a.m. The house is quiet. You're sound asleep, dreaming of a world where you don't have to go to work tomorrow. Suddenly, thump, skitter, skitter, crash. You bolt upright. Is it a burglar? An earthquake? No. It's just your fluffy, 10-pound overlord treating your hallway like the final lap of the Daytona 500. Sound familiar? We've all been there. You look at this crazed furball, eyes wide as dinner plates, and wonder, did they get into the coffee? Are they possessed by a tiny, chaotic demon? Or is this a cry for help? Well, cat moms and cat dads, put on your detective hats, because today we are diving deep into the hilarious, mysterious, and sometimes concerning world of cat Zoomies. We're going to uncover what's really going on in that furry little head. But first, do me a favour and comment below with your cat's name and their personal Olympic stadium. Is it the couch? The bed? Your face, let us know! Before we can decode the Zoomies, we need to remember what a cat fundamentally is. No, not just a living, breathing loaf of bread that judges you. They are tiny, apex predators. Imagine a lion, but it gets scared by a cucumber, and its primary motivation is finding the sunniest spot on the floor. At their core, cats are built for the hunt. They are crepuscular, which is a fancy word, meaning they are most active at dawn and dusk. Coincidentally, the best times to hunt for small prey. Their entire biology is designed around conserving energy through long, luxurious naps, followed by short, explosive bursts of action. So when your indoor cat, who hunts nothing more dangerous than a dust bunny, suddenly explodes with energy, they aren't broken. They're just listening to thousands of years of genetic programming that says, it's time to go get a mouse, even if that mouse is an invisible speck on the wall. So, what are these Zoomies? In scientific terms, vets and animal behaviourists have a name for it: frenetic random activity periods, or FRAPs. I know, it sounds like something from a sci-fi movie, but it's a completely normal behaviour seen in many animals, including dogs and rabbits. A FRAP is essentially a way for your cat to release a massive amount of stored-up energy all at once. It's like shaking a soda bottle for hours and then finally opening the cap. The energy has to go somewhere. These frantic bursts of speed, acrobatic leaps, and sudden changes in direction are your cat's system resetting itself. Think of it as their version of hitting the gym after a long day of, well, a long day of sleeping, looking out the window, and demanding food. For most cats, FRAPs are a sign of a healthy, happy animal with energy to spare. So when you see them go full-on race car mode, your first thought shouldn't be panic, but probably, wow, they're feeling really good today. Let's talk about the #1 cause of happy Zoomies, the predator within. Your adorable fluffball, Sir Pounce-a-lot, has the same basic instincts as a wild leopard. He is hardwired to stalk, chase, pounce, and capture. In the wild, this would take up a huge portion of his day. But for our pampered house panthers, life is a little easier. The food appears magically in a bowl. The water is always fresh. There are no rival predators, unless you count the vacuum cleaner. All that incredible predatory energy, that instinct to run and leap, builds up with nowhere to go. The Zoomies are a direct result of this. It's a simulated hunt. When they tear across the room, they're not just running aimlessly. In their minds, they're chasing down the most delicious, most elusive mouse in the world. They're practicing their skills, keeping their muscles toned, and satisfying a deep, primal urge. It's pure, unadulterated instinct taking over. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room, or rather, the cat rocketing out of the litter box. The infamous post-poop dash. Why on earth do they do this? It's one of the most baffling and hilarious Zoomie triggers. Well, there are a few leading theories. The first is the survival instinct. In the wild, the smell of their waste could attract predators. So, the idea is to do their business and get out of there as fast as humanly, or felinely, possible. It's a poop and run strategy to avoid being tracked. Another, slightly more medical theory involves the vagus nerve. This nerve runs through the colon and can be stimulated during defecation, sometimes causing a brief, euphoric feeling or a burst of energy. You could call it a poo-phoria. And of course, there's the simplest explanation. It just feels good. They feel lighter, relieved, and ready to celebrate their accomplishment with a victory lap around the house. So next time you see this, don't worry. They're likely just celebrating a job well done. While instincts are a huge driver, let's not forget the simplest and best reason for Zoomies. Pure, feline, joy. A happy cat is an energetic cat. Zoomies are often a physical expression of excitement and contentment. Have you ever noticed your cat getting the Zoomies right after you come home from work? Or after a particularly satisfying cuddle session? Or maybe after they finally manage to knock that pen off your desk? That burst of energy is their version of a happy dance. It's a way of saying, life is great, my human is home, I am the king of this castle. It's a sign that they feel safe, secure and happy in their environment. A cat that is stressed, sick or scared is more likely to hide and conserve energy. A cat that feels confident enough to tear through the house like a maniac is a cat that is thriving. So in many ways, those chaotic sprints are a compliment to you, their provider and humble servant. Now let's talk about timing. Does your cat seem to have a built-in alarm clock for chaos that goes off around 5 a.m. or 9 p.m? This is often called the cat witching hour, and it's directly linked to their crepuscular nature. As we mentioned, cats are most active at dawn and dusk. For thousands of years, this was the optimal time to hunt. Their prey, mice, birds, bugs, were also active during these times. Even though your cat's biggest hunt of the day is finding the comfiest spot on your laundry, their internal clock is still set to wild hunter time. So that early morning sprint across your bed isn't them trying to ruin your sleep on purpose. It's their body telling them, the sun is coming up. It's time to be productive and catch breakfast. Similarly, the evening Zoomies happen as the sun goes down, signalling another prime hunting opportunity. It's a completely natural rhythm that we just happen to find a little inconvenient when it involves our faces being used as a launch pad. Time for a little myth busting. A common thought, especially when a glass of water goes flying, is, my cat is doing this to annoy me. He hates me. Let's get this straight. Your cat does not hate you. In fact, it's usually the opposite. Cats do not operate on human concepts of revenge or spite. They aren't thinking, my human was 5 minutes late with dinner. I shall now exact my revenge by simulating a feline hurricane in the living room. Their actions are driven by instinct, energy levels, and their immediate environment. The Zoomies are an internal need, not an external attack on your sanity. If anything, they might be trying to engage with you. That sprint past you followed by a quick look back could be an invitation to play. They see you as part of their world, the provider of all things good. They aren't trying to make you mad. They're just trying to be a cat in a human world. So take a deep breath, pick up the knocked-over picture frame, and remember, it's not personal. Let's talk about indoor cat syndrome. This isn't a real medical term, but it perfectly describes the reality for our housebound kitties. While keeping cats indoors is much safer for them, it presents a unique challenge, boredom, and a lack of stimulation. An outdoor cat gets to experience a world of sights, sounds, and smells. They climb real trees, chase real bugs, and patrol their territory. This provides immense physical and mental stimulation, naturally burning off their energy throughout the day. An indoor cat, on the other hand, sees the same four walls every day. They have a predictable, safe, but potentially understimulating life. This can lead to a massive buildup of pent-up energy. The Zoomies in this context are an essential outlet. It's their way of compensating for the lack of space and excitement. Without this release, that energy could manifest in more destructive ways, like scratching furniture or over-grooming. So, for an indoor cat, Zoomies aren't just normal, they're necessary. Could your cat's diet be fueling the chaos? It's a possibility. While diet isn't usually the primary cause of zoomies, it can be a contributing factor. Think about it in human terms. If you eat a meal full of sugar and simple carbs, you might experience a quick energy spike followed by a crash. Some cat foods, particularly lower quality dry kibbles, can be very high in carbohydrates. Cats are obligate carnivores, meaning their bodies are designed to get energy primarily from protein and fat, not carbs. A diet heavy in carbohydrates can sometimes lead to spikes in blood sugar and bursts of hyperactivity. This isn't to say you should immediately change your cat's food, but if the zoomies seem excessive or are paired with weight issues, it might be worth looking at the ingredients list on their food bag and having a chat with your vet. A high-protein, low-carb diet is generally better for their overall health and can lead to more stable energy levels throughout the day. All right, we've had our fun. Now it's time to get serious. So far, we've established that zoomies are usually a normal, healthy part of being a cat, but not always. This is the cry for help part of our investigation. Sometimes a frantic burst of energy isn't about joy or instinct. It's a symptom of an underlying problem. The key is learning to tell the difference. Healthy zoomies are typically short-lived, predictable, like after a nap or at dusk, and the cat seems happy and playful. Problematic zoomies might seem more desperate, be accompanied by signs of distress, or represent a sudden change in behaviour. It's crucial as a cat parent to be an astute observer. You know your cat's normal personality and habits better than anyone. When those habits change suddenly and drastically, it's time to pay close attention. In the next few segments, we'll break down the specific red flags to watch for. This is perhaps the most important red flag of all. Sudden changes. Behaviour change is one of the primary ways cats communicate that something is wrong. Let's consider two scenarios. First, you have a calm, lazy, 10-year-old cat who has never zoomed a day in his life. Suddenly, he starts tearing around the house like a kitten. This is not normal. This sudden onset of hyperactivity in a previously sedentary cat could be a sign of a medical issue like hyperthyroidism, which revs up their metabolism and makes them feel anxious and energetic. Now, the opposite scenario, you have a young, playful cat who has a zoomie session like clockwork every evening. Then one day, they just stop. They become lethargic and withdrawn. This is also a major red flag, potentially indicating pain, illness, or depression. Any drastic deviation from your cat's established baseline behaviour warrants a closer look, and very often a trip to the vet. Don't dismiss it as them just being weird. Let's talk about a specific and strange condition, feline hyperesthesia syndrome, or FHS. It's also known as rippling skin syndrome. If your cat's zoomies look less like playful fun and more like a panicked attempt to escape their own body, you need to pay attention. A cat with FHS might suddenly start grooming frantically, biting at their own tail or back, vocalizing loudly, and then bolting as if they've been stung. You might notice their skin, particularly along their spine, twitching or rippling right before an episode. The exact cause of FHS isn't fully understood. It can be linked to neurological issues, skin problems, stress, or even seizures. These are not happy zoomies. This is a cat in distress. If you observe these specific behaviours, the frantic biting, the skin twitching, the panicked running, it is absolutely essential to record it on your phone if you can and show it to your veterinarian. This is a medical condition that requires a professional diagnosis. Another dark side of the zoomies can be pain. Imagine you have an itch you just can't scratch, or a sudden sharp pain in your joints. Your first instinct might be to jump up and move, to try and get away from the sensation. Cats are no different. What looks like a random burst of energy could actually be a reaction to discomfort. Common culprits include fleas. The intense itchiness from a flea bite can certainly make a cat bolt across the room. Skin allergies or dermatitis can have a similar effect. Even internal pain like that from arthritis in an older cat or a urinary tract infection can cause sudden, frantic movements. The cat isn't running for fun, they're running from pain. A key difference here is that pain-induced zoomies are often accompanied by other signs like excessive licking or biting at a specific spot, meowing in distress, or avoiding being touched. It's a desperate, not a joyful kind of energy. Cats are creatures of habit. They thrive on routine and predictability. Any major disruption to their world can cause significant anxiety and stress, and that stress has to go somewhere. For some cats, it manifests as frantic, anxious energy bursts that can look a lot like zoomies. Think about major life changes from your cat's perspective. Did you just move to a new house? The new territory is full of unfamiliar smells and sounds. Did you bring home a new pet, like a kitten or a dog? Suddenly, their status as the sole ruler of the house is threatened. Even smaller things like rearranging the furniture or having house guests can be incredibly stressful for a sensitive cat. These anxiety-fueled zoomies are a coping mechanism. The cat is literally trying to run away from their stress. These episodes might be paired with other signs of anxiety like hiding, changes in litter box habits, or increased vocalization. It's a clear sign they're feeling overwhelmed. Age is another critical factor to consider, especially when it comes to senior cats. Just like humans, older cats can develop cognitive dysfunction, which is essentially a form of feline dementia. A cat with cognitive dysfunction can become disoriented, confused, and anxious, particularly at night. This can lead to them waking up and suddenly running around the house with no apparent purpose. They might seem lost or cry out in confusion. This isn't the playful, coordinated zoomie of a young cat. It's a disoriented, often distressing episode. If your senior cat, typically over 11 years old, suddenly starts having nightly zoomies, especially if they are also showing other signs like getting stuck in corners, forgetting where their food bowl is, or having litter box accidents, it's crucial to talk to your vet. While there's no cure for cognitive dysfunction, there are medications and strategies that can help manage the symptoms and improve their quality of life. So how can you, the designated cat detective, tell the difference between a happy zoomie and a stressed one? You need to learn to read the entire performance, not just the running. Look at their body language. A happy, playful cat will have a relaxed posture, maybe with their tail held high and flicking with excitement. Their eyes will be bright and engaged. They might do a play bow or bring you a toy. The zoomie will feel light and bouncy. A stressed or pained cat, however, will be tense. Their ears might be flattened against their head, and their pupils might be fully dilated out of fear, not just excitement. Their tail might be tucked low or thrashing back and forth in agitation. They might also vocalize differently, not the happy chirps of play, but a distressed meow or a hiss. The zoomie will feel more frantic, desperate, and less controlled. By observing these subtle cues, you can get a much better picture of the emotion driving the energy. Now for the fun part, solutions. If you've determined your cat zoomies are from boredom or pent-up energy, the absolute best medicine is play therapy. But I don't mean just jiggling a feather wand for 30 seconds. You need to engage their predator brain. The key is to simulate a real hunt. Use a wand toy with a feather or a mouse at the end, and make it act like real prey. Make it dart behind furniture, pause, and then run away. Let your cat stalk it, chase it, and most importantly, let them catch it. A hunt that never ends is frustrating. Allow them to pounce and kill the toy several times during a play session. Aim for 2 50-minute sessions a day, ideally around dawn and dusk, to align with their natural energy peaks. A good play session that ends with a tasty treat will satisfy their hunting instinct, drain their physical energy, and leave them ready for a nice long nap instead of a midnight parkour session. Beyond active play, you need to make your home a feline wonderland. This is called environmental enrichment, and it's crucial for preventing boredom in indoor cats. Think vertically. Cats love to climb and observe their kingdom from on high. A tall cat tree, especially one placed near a window, is like a castle and a movie theatre all in one. Window perches or catios can provide hours of entertainment as they watch birds and squirrels. Puzzle feeders are another fantastic tool. Instead of just dumping food in a bowl, make them work for it. This engages their brain and mimics the foraging and problem-solving they would do in the wild. You can also simply rotate their toys so they don't get bored of the same old fuzzy mice. Even something as simple as leaving a cardboard box on the floor can be a source of immense joy and a new thought to explore. A stimulated cat is a happy cat, and a happy cat has healthier energy outlets. Remember how we said cats thrive on routine? This is your secret weapon in managing Zoomie o'clock. By creating a predictable daily schedule, you can help regulate their energy levels and expectations. Try to feed them at the same times every day. Schedule your interactive play sessions for specific times, ideally before their usual Zoomie hour, like in the evening before you settle down. A great routine to try is hunt, catch, kill, eat, groom, sleep. This means you have an intense play session, hunt, catch, kill, followed immediately by their meal, eat. This mimics their natural cycle perfectly. After eating, they will naturally want to groom themselves and then settle down for a long, satisfied sleep. This can be a game changer for preventing those late night or early morning bursts of energy. It gives them the stimulation they crave and signals to their body that it's time to rest. Let's be very clear. I am a narrator on a YouTube video, not a veterinarian. If after watching this you have any genuine concerns about your cat's health, the answer is not to consult Dr. Google. The answer is to call your vet. Please do not hesitate. If you're seeing any of the red flags we discussed, a sudden and dramatic change in behaviour, signs of feline hyperesthesia, frantic movements paired with distressed vocalizations, or disorientation in a senior cat, make an appointment. It is always better to be safe than sorry. Your vet can perform a physical exam and run tests to rule out any underlying medical conditions like hyperthyroidism, pain, or neurological issues. Being a responsible pet owner means celebrating their funny quirks, but also taking their health seriously. Trust your intuition. If something feels off, it probably is. So please use this video as a guide, but always use your vet as your expert. So after all this analysis, what's the final verdict on Zoomies? For the vast majority of cats, it's a beautiful, chaotic, and hilarious expression of their true feline nature. It's a sign that you've created an environment where they feel safe, happy, and energetic enough to let their inner wildcat out to play. So, the next time your cat transforms into a furry blur, instead of groaning, take a moment to smile. Appreciate the sheer joy and explosive energy of the tiny predator you share your home with. Yes, they might knock over a lamp. Yes, they might use your leg as a climbing post. But they are also reminding you that life is meant to be lived with enthusiasm and random bursts of inexplicable joy. And that's a lesson we could all probably learn. So, embrace the chaos, cherish the madness. Because a Zoomie is just another weird and wonderful part of the contract we sign when we let these incredible creatures into our hearts and homes. So there you have it, the great mystery of the cat Zoomies, decoded. Most of the time, it's just your furry overlord being a happy, healthy, and slightly unhinged predator. But now you are armed with the knowledge to spot the subtle signs that might point to something more serious. You've officially graduated from cat owner to cat detective, because at the end of the day, behind all the chaos, the knocked over plants, and the 3 a.m. sprints across your face, there's a little creature we love more than anything. Understanding them is just another way we show that love. If this video helped you understand your cat's wild side, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe for more adventures into the feline mind, and share it with a friend whose cat is currently using their curtains as a jungle gym. And for our final question, what is the absolute craziest thing your cat has ever done during a Zoomie session? Let us know in the comments below. We can't wait to read your stories. Thanks for watching, and give your little speed demon a pet from us. Upbeat, playful music fades out.